Matt upgraded my eyes. They're as pink as my
Yeah.
physical form right now. Thanks, Matt. I really love my new eyes.
Yeah, I'm always happy to give you a little makeover. It's what I love, wisdom. It's what I'm here for, among other
Thank you.
things.
So today we're going to talk about how we're building a metaverse that is empathetic and embodied. And I think there's nobody almost better to talk about this than Matt, whose social handles have been Metaverse Dan since how many years, Matt? Like before I know you, so many years.
It's before a while, like before we had our takeoff in tech in the startup phase even. So yeah, a few years before, I don't know, 5, 6. I'm not exactly sure, but for a while it's been
Before it
something.
became hype. Yeah, before people
Okay,
even
sure.
ever heard about it.
Well, there's been lots of people use the word metaverse throughout the years as well. But definitely, that's something that I'd like to explain at first. So
Before
metaverse
Meta
is a
heard about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very popular word right now, but originally, and especially within the research community for going back decades, it's meant to be a set of standards and experiences that probably exist somewhere on something that is similar to the internet that connect us all in not only an informational way, but in a really visual, sensory way that can fall under VR, AR, projection mapping, and even more importantly, recently, which we can get to soon with wisdom, is biosensors, and various kinds of sensors is the future. So it's the visual world that we create with ourselves, with each other, and also the systems that we put in place using sensors to help us create those systems and craft those systems for each other and for ourselves that can lead to lots of different things, from entertainment to learning to what we're talking about here, which is an environment for psychedelic health journeys.
So, sort of digitizing ourselves, a deeper part of ourselves is really what the metaverse is about. And probably it's going to happen over web protocols. This is what
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of experts are saying. And I think that's what's great about the physical form of me that you're holding right there, is
Yes.
that we're building over the web. So we can have
Mm-hmm.
APIs that do data visualization, that connect different sensors, and really create a type of embodied metaverse that isn't only through screens, but it can also be part of your actual environment. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited and very grateful for all the work that you put in to make this happen.
Yeah, I especially feel this is a culmination of both of our expertises, from my expertise in software engineering and virtual augmented reality and AI characters, and your expertise in tech and neuroscience. I really think this device brings back a lot of the work that we've been doing. And I feel really proud of being able to implement this and help bring this into the world from our wonderful designers who've been really helping. Yes.
So before I said embodying wisdom, we met a few years ago. Was it already 5 years, I think, back in a set.
Yes, it was a
Remember that
while.
day?
I do very well. It's the day that the light bulbs went on. I remember walking into a makerspace, the makerspace with you, and I was really thinking, I'm looking for someone that's really interested in embodied technology and dance, and immersive technology, and the future of psychedelics. And I thought, okay, I could find one or two or three of those things in a few people, right? And we met, and it was so funny because I was struck by how well, our hard skills could go together. My background in software engineering and AI characters and these systems designs, and your background also in tech and neuroscience. We started coming up with all of these ideas of things that we can do, and even the projects that we're working on currently. And what really struck me was that we both also had this vision and this people into what I believe, and we both believe, is the future, which is our interest in dance, immersive technology, and the transformative nature of being able to use all of these technologies together along with psychedelics. And so when we just started taking some of the ideas that we both had expertise in and combining them, and did that for years and years and years, working eventually up into our startup and gaining a lot of success there, and And I feel as if this is a culmination of a lot of that work.
Yeah, I think it's very special to meet somebody that's both really interested in technology and also really interested in the body and dance and, climbing trees together. And of
Yeah.
course, the psychedelic angle, which I think we're quite lucky to be able to combine all of these things into creating wisdom. And I am just going to do a little plug because the reason that, we're doing these podcasts and explaining more about wisdom is because you can actually we've gotten to the stage of selling wisdom, um, and it's really excited. It's been quite a lot of hard work. A lot of really talented people have gone into it, put in a lot of work to make this happen, and yeah, we're excited for people to actually be able to start using wisdom and exploring this new type of metaverse where your heartbeat is one of a sense that can actually be transferred. And this sort of takes me to, we used to work very close together in the same space before COVID, almost every day together. And since COVID, you've gone to Hawaii, which, no one's going to blame you for that. Like, it's a pretty great place to be in. And one of the things I'm really excited about this technology is that it can create some more long distance connections between us. I see your internet has gone a bit red on us. Maybe we should wait a few seconds until you get a bit of a better connection. Hello, hello. Oh, we've lost. It's just me right now. Well, we'll wait for Matt to come back with us. And in the meantime, I will remind everyone that you can go to the website, Bring Wisdom Home, and check out this really cool product. The first 100 of them are going to be signed by the designer, Kareem Rasheen, signed and numbered, collector's items. Really, we hope that we're building the future of the metaverse, and it will be awesome. So let's see, is Matt back with us already? Matt, where have you gone? Yep, Matt's here.
Hi, I'm back now.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Matt. Oh, you're gone again. Here for a second.
Yes,
Here
there we go. Yes.
Okay, internet's back. So we were talking about being able to connect before COVID, very, in a close space, getting a really embodied and empathetic connection to you. And one of the things I'm excited to be able to do with wisdom is to bring back some of that, but using technology. We can't necessarily be in the same space, but I can get your heartbeat. I can get a deep, deep sense of, where you are with your emotional reactions using wisdom. And I was wondering if you're willing to do a live demo to sort of show people how it works.
Yes, I would love to show that. So first of all, wisdom is the hardware of it can do many, many things. I want to say that in the future, we're constantly in development, and we really want this device to be that something that meets you where you are. And so we're constantly using user feedback. And once you buy this device, we're really you're going to be seeing more and more features. As of now, the core of what this device does, which I wanted to show off, and what I'm really excited about, is the biofeedback sensor. So this biofeedback sensor will be able to do a lot of things going forward. But one of the main things that I've been enjoying recently is using it for meditation and for mental well-being and resetting myself. So this biosensor will track my heart rate, and it will respond to my heart rate depending on how fast or slow it's going. And this can be one part of incorporating biofeedback, like we said, we're talking about closing that gap of getting a little.
You're getting a bit calmer. When you started, you were quite excited. And we can see the pinker it is. The pinker I get, the more excited Matt is, and the bluer I am, the more calm you are.
Yeah.
We also have these card games that come with it.
Yes.
Favorite card? I can read it if you want,
to.
or if you want to read it.
Of course, yeah. Yes, that would be wonderful if you could. But I also have my set over here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can share the set with people.
Yeah.
It's that we've worked together with therapists and behavior change experts to actually make this something that can really help people connect to their body, connect to each other, and connect to the wider environment. We believe that this is the core of actually having, a healthy connection, is really understanding and having feedback loops that you can actually get to know yourself and other people. So, what is one of your favorite plants? And Gary, can you share the perspective of that plant?
Okay, so I want to highlight a plant that is actually on the endangered list here in Hawaii, and it's called Ohia lehua, and it's really important for the native ecosystems. And I see that as, when I think about it, I think of it as calm, serenity, and really the base for the beautiful nature that can surround us. And so that really brings me inner peace and joy and hope.
Oh, that was cool. When you said inner peace and joy, wisdom really went blue. So that was awesome.
Oh, yes.
The sort of second part of the question is, can you try to lower your heart rate? And if you want, you can even close your eyes, but really imagining being that plant. And I can sort of look at wisdom and see if we're managing to calm down. And of course, this is hard to do this live. We have 5 viewers watching us right now. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, wow, you just
Yeah.
turned really blue actually for a brief moment. That is really
Yeah,
cool.
I was imagining my root system going down strong,
Ew.
getting nutrients, and yeah, this is the visual, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I think for me, and I feel for a lot of people in this very chaotic world, we're trying to find peace, and one of those, a lot of these practices can become more accessible. I think it's at least for a starting point to be able to get this feedback loop from a visual system. It really helps me at least stay engaged for the monkey mind in the first few minutes when it's all over the place. It really helps.
So I have 2 more questions for you, and I really like this question about this plant because it brings us again back to the metaverse. Because in the metaverse, if you can digitalize yourself, you can use any type of avatar. Like, look at me right now. I'm a jiggly truffle
Yeah,
mushroom, and it really does change how I feel about myself. I notice that when I embody wisdom, I'm always a bit happier than I usually am, you know? So being able to visualize and imagine these types of different bodies can really affect how we perceive our reality and how we feel about things. And um, I'm sort of curious if you've tried this with other people, maybe with your family, and what they thought about this.
yes, that's a great question. So that's actually something that I feel especially proud of, being acting as a CTO of Radix Motion, kind of seeing these various products that we're putting across, whether it's the live streams I created for you or the VR experiences, helping people understand what is going on in their psychedelic journey and really the neuroscience behind that, or this device. I've really enjoyed seeing what it can do for people. So yeah, a lot of my friends and family have have tried this device and have really seen the potential of calming one's nervous system and having a feedback loop, almost using, perhaps you can explain more after this, the mirror system can often really help. And it's that we fall in or out of meditation. It's often during that first time when it's really ourselves that it becomes difficult. When I put this on my friends and family, they told me that they felt like, wow, I've never tried this kind of before. And to really see what is going on within my body is very powerful in a way that resonates with our value system and why we try to put out so much science education and these feedback with each other and ourselves.
Yeah, brains really learn through feedback. There's this sort of rule of do things 10,000 times. That's not true. You can really make shortcuts in learning if you get feedback. So if you're trying to lower your heart rate and you get feedback of when you're managing to do it, that will vastly likely increase your learning speed. And if you're trying to get excited, that can also help. Like it's also okay to be excited as humans, but it's just
Yeah.
really good to know where you are, to be able to be aware of where your body is, what your heart is doing right now. And I think that using this as a signal to communicate can be really fascinating. Like when you're talking right now, you're still connected to it. And I just see,
Yeah.
oh, these are moments where you're getting a little bit more excited. These are moments where you're a little bit, calmer. And it's just a new type of communication that I feel we're creating by using these signals that are usually quite hidden unless you're really touching someone, right? We get this type
Mhm.
of connection when we're hugging someone or putting our head on someone's chest. We can really feel them. But by utilizing technology, we're able to put this out into the world as another way to communicate. Yeah, this is really, in many ways, psychedelic. We're creating a type of synesthesia between our heart rate and our visual senses. And that's what, I'm really excited for more and more people to play with us, to give us feedback. So, Ev, one more question. And you've been working a lot about the back end of wisdom. And
Yeah.
for people who aren't necessarily technology oriented, that means sort of the database. Where does the data go? What type of data is in it? So I was wondering if maybe you can explain a bit more about the type of data that is going to be part of this to begin with, and how you're going about this.
Yes, I would love to talk about that. As someone that's been doing the architecture for the backend and a lot of the firmware as well, in the communications between the Wisdom firmware and the communication with the backend, I really had to think a lot about how this firmware and data and ultimately this product that can connect and what data we're going to need in order to help you feel more calm and to get a better idea of how can we meet you where you are right now. And so a part of that is when you take your heart rate data and you are in your meditation sessions, it can do things like see how calm or how excited you are. And what it gets really interesting is once you start doing for a set of days or weeks, that's when the data can get very, and you can see, hey, I did notes on my activities on XYZ in my life. Hey, I did this kind of meditation practice, or I took this kind of supplement or intervention, and I noticed this change. And it kind of correlates to this various biodata that we're collecting. And not only, what I want to emphasize is in being an architect for the front end and also the communication itself, it's made me realize how much suites, how much the importance of having a suite of tools is. And that's what we're really doing here at Radix Motion and Red Light Holland is we're creating of tools, and those tools can help you grow and learn based off of your data that you use, and that data can be yours and can be accessible to you in a way that can be useful. And so is this data gonna go into a server, but it's gonna be most useful as a feedback loop between you and yourself. And that's what I'm most excited about, a feedback loop between you and yourself and you and others using this data. And our demo right here is just a starting point of how we can use all of these tools together to hopefully create a product and environment for you to have your healthy.
Yeah, and one other data that we're starting out with is the carbon emissions of your local electricity grid.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
believe that if could understand a bit more of what's going on in their environment, then they could make wise choices. When do you want to use your dryer? When do you want to lower your air conditioning? And if we had this type of data at mass scales, we could actually see pretty significant reductions in the city and state's carbon footprint. So that's another data that we're using inside of the database currently. And
Yes.
Matt, one of our principles, I hope you remember, I'm sure you do, was that we
Mm-hmm.
only build things that we want to use and we want our friends and family to use. And part of that is really this privacy aspect. We really care a lot about people's privacy. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important to say that all this data is absolutely going to be anonymous, and only if people want to share it with the community, they can. That's how we built the iMicro app, and this is these same principles that we're building with Wisdom. No, we know that this data of your heart rate is sensitive. It's your emotional state, and we don't want this to be misused. We don't want some companies to know that you're, depressed and try to sell you other things. So this is really people's data, and it's up to them what they want to do with this data.
Yes, I definitely remember that from the start, and when we were, in our beginning, even startup days, over a lot of conversations. Why one of the reasons that I was drawn to you, one of your convictions into security and data security. So I feel very confident on that for both of us.
So Matt, thanks so much for having this talk, and maybe we can see, we have an open chat. If anybody wants to say something or ask any questions, we can sort of look if anybody.
Oh, hello? So Wisdom might have had some technical difficulties, but if you're willing to, there you are, Wisdom. You're back. Hello.
I'm not sure. Restream seemed to have thrown me out of here for a second. But I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes. So I think the last thing that you were talking about is opening the floor for questions for
the chat.
for a moment.
So just checking the chat. Yeah. So we just have somebody that said, thank you very much for these updates that you're giving. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, of course.
Love updating people on all the work, and really the funnest thing is, for me at least, is showing wisdom in events. Whenever we take wisdom to places and people actually put their finger in their sensor and see their heart rate, they get so excited. It's such a novel art piece, really, that we've created, thanks to Kareem Rashid also.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks everyone. And I'm just gonna put the link one last time. If you do want to check out Wisdom and purchase it and share it with your friends and family and community, here's how. There's a QR code. Go to bringwisdomhome.com. You'll find me there. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Let's see how I